What's going on, guys? Welcome to another post-game live here on Dime Dropper for the 2025-26 season. Before we get started, you already know the drill. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube for all things LA sports and LA basketball. And of course, if you're a Clipper fan, the place to be where we cover every single game. I'm also the host of Locked On Clippers. But man, we're live from Los Angeles tonight at 3:20 a.m. because I want you guys to have something to wake up to. And this was a game that we really anticipated. San Antonio, we want to play them in the first round because we don't want to play OKC, and we're going to be either 7, 8, or 9, I would think. And this was our first time playing them this season. ESPN game, no Darius Garland, who was out because I think he's going to play tomorrow against Memphis. And then he just came back from the toe injury. And then John Collins is still out with that neck injury. Playing against San Antonio, who's been having one of the, and I talked about them a little bit in the beginning of the season when they played the Lakers in my Laker breakdowns against the Spurs, but they have been one of the biggest surprises this season. Them, Phoenix, Charlotte. I mean, I thought the Spurs would be a team that made the play-in. Maybe I didn't even think they were going to make the top 6. I thought they'd make the playoffs via the play-in, let alone be flirting with the 1 seed. I mean, it's been an incredible season for them. And I got to see a little bit more of why in this game. Now, granted, I have been saying that I haven't watched other teams that much this season, which is true because I just haven't had the time. But San Antonio is actually one of the teams I've paid the most attention to because they're so intriguing. And before I go any further and talk about this game, I just want to say that San Antonio's team is so likable, which I can't stand because they terrorized my childhood. I don't need them to be good again. I would rather them not be good, but they're so likable. They have so many players that I like, but I just can't have them win. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. So in this game, I'm not going to lie, I'm not as upset as I normally would be. Yes, we blew a 25-point lead, but we are without Garland, without John Collins, against a team that's basically has everyone except for Harrison Barnes. And we only lost by 4 points. Now, what makes the loss really tough is that we had a 25-point lead. And I can't remember the last time we've blown a lead that big. We've actually become better about coming back from big leads as the Clippers than blowing them anymore. But this was just, I think we collapsed more in the last minute of the game than anything that, it happened in the third quarter, the beginning of the fourth. Because here's the reality. In the first half, we were just playing out of our minds in terms of, Kawhi was Kawhi. But Brook Lopez, Clipper fans, let's be real. Brook Lopez has been really good since the first 27 games where we were 6-21. But that dude was hitting one-legged fades multiple times in the first half, knocking down a 3 after he took a dribble that felt unnecessary and made the shot more contested. Brook Lopez was going crazy. He had 9 points in the first quarter, 17 in the first half. That wasn't normal. And the Spurs, let's be honest, were we playing good defense in the first half? Yes. Kawhi was locking up. Kobe Sanders was playing great defense man-to-man. Jordan Miller was doing a solid job. Not Yannick, which I'll talk about at the end, by the way, because I haven't addressed his injury on this show yet. But Brook Lopez was contesting shots at the rim, jumpers. Isaiah Jackson played with so much energy in that first half. And the Spurs still were able, besides all that, to create a lot of open shots, and they just weren't hitting them. You knew eventually they might start hitting them, but we had built up such a big lead that we were at least I was okay, we'll still probably be able to hold them off even if they make some sort of a run, because 25 points is a lot. But sheesh. In the third quarter, I'll say this, because we were up by a score of, we were up 32-25 after 1, and then we outscored them 34-21 in the second. So we were up 66-46 at halftime. And at one point in that third quarter, we were up 75-50. That was the biggest lead that we had. Before I say anything more about why we blew the lead, I just want to say that Kawhi Leonard I've always been on blow by watch with him, meaning how many times per season is he blowing by his defender, not getting the step or getting him on his hip, full on getting by them. I've counted, and it's usually a number that's less than 5, but he is at 4 this season that I've counted. He had 2 of them in the last 2 games. Sorry, he had 2 in this game, 3 in the last 2 games. I'm sorry. He had 1 this game against Keldon Johnson in the first half, and then in the second half, he blew by Devin Vassell, like straight up got by them. He is looking a little bit quicker. And I think the biggest thing with Kawhi for me is when he gets a run of games, and I'm talking like 20, 30, 40 games consecutively without like an injury, a major injury. Like that ankle, I don't even know if that ankle shit is real. I'm gonna be honest. He looks so good. He just kind of his body feels better as time goes on. Like he really starts getting quicker, getting a little bit more explosive, and he's just been insane this season. Tonight's game was no different, but he didn't have a great last minute, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But he blew by 2 guys in one game. That's pretty rare for him, as a Clipper at least. And so he's had at least I've counted 4, but maybe he's had 1 or 2 that I've missed. But I've watched every game this season except for the Philly game, so like my number's pretty accurate. Now I'm not talking about attacking a closeout. I'm talking about straight ISO, top of the key, or wherever it may be. Get around your guy like Harden did consistently. We had no one besides Harden doing it consistently, including Kawhi. So it was crazy to see that. But anyway, for me in the third quarter, I think it was a lot more about San Antonio turning up than us being shit. Because look at the roster. They have more depth. They have more talent. They've won 13 out of their last 14 games before this one. We're missing Garland and John Collins. They have let's talk about Wemby and Kawhi. Let's just cancel them out for a sec. De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin, these guys, Devin Vassell, like these guys are better than what we have. Like our second best player is Ben Mathurin. Tonight it was Brook Lopez. Like our second source of offense was throwing the ball and dumping it into Brook Lopez on switches in the post. They have Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox. So let's take a step back before we start going crazy. You know what I'm saying, on our team. Am I disappointed with the loss? Yes, it was pretty heartbreaking, especially the end. But that third quarter, when it first started going bad, like they went on a 9-0 run. Oh, sorry, an 11-0 run after we went up 75-50. And I think a lot of it was the energy that Keldon Johnson was bringing to the table on both ends of the floor. And he's been doing that all season. He's kind of like reinvented himself as this, from being a scorer that was averaging like 22 points a game on a shitty Spurs team to being like this offensive rebounding machine that's playing super hard and being like this energizer bunny off the bench for the Spurs. It's been a really crazy like renaissance to see from him, especially considering that like he's been there for like a while now. So good for him, honestly. Like if I'm a Spurs fan, I would probably love the guy. And I thought, Wemby really took things like when he starts impacting the game at high levels, he affects the game on both ends so much more than like damn near. The closest thing I can think of in recent years was Anthony Davis in like 2023, like in the playoffs against Memphis and Golden State. Like he covers so much ground and he finds a way to block and contest shots that you don't think that he's even in the vicinity. Shout out to my members. Hey, everyone. Happy Saturday. Guys, if you're a member of this channel, you are entitled to a members only live once a week. I did breaking down Darius Garland's film of his first 2 games in yesterday's members only live. You can also jump on stage and ask me any question, and you can request film of any player or game that we can break down together from the last 20 years, and you can ask me any basketball question you want, and you're entitled to a members only giveaway at 25 and 50 members, one for Clipper fans, one for Laker fans. So if you're a fan of another team, we can figure something out. Become a member and we can go from there. And then of course, if you go to games in LA and I'm at the game, you can skip the line at post-game interviews. So a lot of perks to being a member, and you get every comment read in chat on the live. So, but back to Wemby. He was starting to impose his will. He got Kobe Sanders on him on switches. And to be fair, like Kobe Sanders tried his best. He put a hand up. But if Wemby's hitting the jumper, it's over. And I think one thing that he's done a better job of is, okay, maybe he's not strong enough to get all the way around the basket, which he is, by the way. He just needs to do more of his work before he catches the ball. And he has done a better job, at least, of catching the ball, not at the 3-point line or just around the 3-point line, but now more in the mid-range area. So when he turns, he's at least 15 feet away from the basket or so, not 20 feet away from the basket. He was able to just rise up over the top and hit a couple shots over Kobe Sanders and also get, blocks. And then Fox, he had, 2 points in the first half? Let me look it up. In the first half, De'Aaron Fox had 2 points. 2 points. And by the way, I don't know if this is true or not. I would take Adam's word for it. But Adam, our radio host, said on Twitter that we were 108-0 when having a 20-plus point lead in our history, the Clippers' history. So this was the first time we'd ever blown a 20-point halftime lead in our history. Crazy. And so, yeah, in the third quarter, De'Aaron Fox started cooking. And Julian Champagnie, I mean, this guy was the only Spur that played the whole third quarter. He was hitting every three. And again, these are all coming from dribble penetration. Like Chris Dunn, DJ, these guys are doing a good job defensively, but it's Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox. Sometimes this is a reason why they're the 2 seed. Like these guys get 2 feet in the paint consistently. Castle's jumper may be kind of broke, but he gets in the paint and he makes good passes. And Fox, we already know what he can do. And especially like one thing that they did a little more of in the second half, the Spurs are very fascinating. I hate that they're this I hate it. Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker and Pop fucking terrorized the Western Conference. It's like every single time I saw them on the schedule as a kid, I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to go to bed sad tonight, going to school, talking about a loss. Like, the fact that they're good again, it pisses me off. But they're so likable. It's not like the old team that was like, see, I used to think the Spurs were boring when I was a kid, but now I could watch the old Spurs all day long. Like they played beautiful basketball, especially 2014 version. But anyway, Wemby in the first half, it was a lot of like him at the high post, like running DHOs, but like even just him at the high post trying to make plays off that. And even like some inverted pick and rolls where smaller guys were setting the screen. I thought we saw more scenarios and more plays with him. And I don't have like the numbers on hand, but it felt like more plays with him in the second half as him being used as a screener. So then De'Aaron Fox or Castle could get into the lane, but also you had Wemby's vertical threat rolling to the basket, which was drawing more attention at the rim in rotation than any opponent that we've played against this season. Like usually you have someone tagging the roll man. We had 2 guys sinking, essentially leaving everybody on the perimeter open, which I don't know if that's a mistake. I mean, if you throw it to the sky, this fool's arms are so long he can go up there and get it. Like he truly is one of the most interesting specimens we've ever seen in the NBA. But I don't know. And they started making threes. Champagnie had 17 points in the third quarter alone, 17 of their 35. And yeah, Fox in the first half, as I said, 2 points. He started turning up, and that's what a star does. I mean, he had a game winner in the All-Star game. Like he's a star for a reason. In the third quarter, we got outscored 35-26. The Spurs hit 6 threes in the quarter. Lopez was still playing out of his mind, I'm going to be honest with you. And Kawhi restored a little bit of order. The Spurs made a run, but he was able to score 9 points of his own in that third quarter. And we're 3 for 7 from downtown in the quarter. So even though we shot 41% from the field, we shot 43% from 3 in that one. And, I didn't think much of their third quarter. They outscored us by 9. We were still up by 11 going into the fourth. And I'm like, look, you knew they were going to make a push. We just got to close this out. And that's where we failed. And I have to say, Isaiah Jackson, when he came into the game, his first stint was amazing. But his second stint was pretty rough because the thing about Ajax is, and I'll talk about Yannick's injury at the end of the show, but the thing about Ajax is we haven't seen him play that much, but he's a 6'8" center. So what I saw from the coaching staff was that we were pretty hesitant to play him in drop coverage because if you drop and he's getting challenged at the rim, they think he's only 6'8". Even though he's got some good bounce, he's not going to really deter shots. So we tried to have him hedge on the ball screens, and Fox turned the corner super easily on him and scored. And then on the next time down, they got Cornette in the short roll, and he finished a layup to help. The rotation was late. So then the third time, after they were putting Isaiah Jackson in the pick and roll in this sequence, they dropped now with Isaiah, and then Fox got to his floater. So I was just like, damn, like let's get Lopez back in this game because he's struggling right now. And it's like, it's tough. NBA players are good, and he's an undersized 5. So that's probably like part of his flaw. And then he can't really shoot the ball. He's kind of just like he plays like a guy that would be a really solid NBA player if he was 3 inches taller. Isaiah Jackson. Like that's what he would be. But I think he can still have good games against lesser teams, but he just had a rough second half. And then this goes back to you have to give them credit. Carter Bryant, I have a story to tell. So Carter Bryant, I was in New York, and if I have one of my mods in here, link the video where I like met All Ball and Fabian, the Knicks rehab guys, for the first time, the All Ball TV guys in New York, late in 2023, I believe. Yeah, 2023. I went to New York, and I was at a pro-am right in the middle of Manhattan with Kai and Anthony. But you know which player stood out to me? And I was wondering, like, where's he going to college? His name was Carter Bryant, and he was going to Arizona. And he stood out to me that night in the middle of Manhattan in a pro-am. So I was not, surprised that he's a good player. He's so athletic, and we saw him at the dunk contest on Saturday night. You can check out that vlog as well. Man, I've produced so many videos. Damn, good videos, by the way. If you care, if you actually like sports fandom. But the way that dude was defending, I mean, he was getting physical. And the refereeing was really inconsistent in this game for both teams. Like there were some fouls that were called that were like really soft, and they were letting Carter Bryant in certain plays get away with physicality. Carter Bryant, though, I have to give him credit. He was playing so hard, and his defense was everywhere, on ball, contesting shots. And look, they went to this matchup zone for a lot of the second half. And after the game, Ty Lue said, the zone made us stagnant. The zone, I didn't like our execution against it. I rewatched the game, like the second half against those possessions against zone, and only like 3 or 4 of them were really bad. We got a pretty good shot every single time down, even against their matchup zone. Like there was one possession where Chris Dunn made the wrong read where Carter Bryant smartly left him when he was trailing a screen and went for the roller because he knew that Chris Dunn wouldn't shoot, and he got an interception. That had nothing to do with the zone and the lack of execution, in my opinion. That's just Chris Dunn making a bad read. And then there was one play where they got us deep in the shot clock in the second half, and Kobe Sanders shot a step back jumper. That was a good play. But a lot of these were just like starting the possession in zone, not having a true middleman when Kawhi was out. And then they match up in man, and you don't have Kawhi in. So the best thing you're getting is like a Ben Mather and ISO, or like, I think that, and look, I'm giving Ty Lue grace because he hasn't rewatched the game. Like, I think that our zone execution was not even that big a deal. I think we only have Kawhi Leonard as the only star against a really good team, and Ben Mathurin didn't have a great game. It was back to Ben Mathurin kind of not taking great shots. It felt like he didn't get any clean looks off the whole game, even the shots that he made. And granted, you have Stephon Castle, you have Fox, you have Carter Bryant, you have these guys that are better defensively than per se Indiana. But the thing about Ben Mathurin is, and you got Wemby sitting at the rim, and even Cornette, who's no slouch. The thing about Ben is, if he can't get to the rim, you don't know if he's going to shoot well because his jumper is not great, and we don't have Darius Garland right now who can give him open jumpers. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of it's contested jumpers because he's our second best shot creator, and tonight wasn't his night, and we didn't go to him maybe even enough. But he played, he was 3 for 12 in 22 minutes. There's a reason he only got 22 minutes because he wasn't shooting well. So I'm not going to get too mad at Ty for that. But that's that sequence where I think it was Wemby blocked Chris Dunn, and then it led to, like, this was the whole sequence, right? They cut it down to 5 after Fox hit a floater. We called timeout. Then Fox hit a contested jumper after they had doubled Kawhi Leonard very smartly, and they had some good doubles they threw at Kawhi. I think the double teams honestly bothered us maybe even more than the zone, because we can swing the ball a little quicker. Kawhi is also not the best at making passes out of the double, but you have guys that are a little bit of afraid of attacking closeouts and shooting in the in-between game. A lot of shots were there in the in-between game, and we don't really have anyone outside of Kawhi and I guess Ben Mathurin, who didn't get any clean looks tonight, that actually shoot those shots. Brook Lopez was the guy making the second most shots in the in-between game in this one, which tells you that like we're deficient. And not just the in-between game, from 3. We're deficient from 3 as well. So Kawhi he has to carry a lot in terms of the scoring right now without Garland. And like we can get away with it against bad teams, but it's going to be tough for 48 minutes to get away with it against good teams. And so this was the sequence, right? Kawhi gets doubled, he misses. Wemby gets the block after the Fox jumper that led to the Carter Bryant alley-oop, made it 96-97. Then Jordan Miller missed a 3 that was open, but he could have swung it to Nico. And then on the other end off that miss, Castle had a pick and roll where 3 guys went to Wemby at the rim, and he found Vassell for the go-ahead 3. But that would not be all, because Kawhi Leonard still would get 2 straight buckets to tie the game for mid-range and then to just cookie Castle and go all the way for a dunk. Made it 103-101. Kawhi, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to double check right now, had 10 points in the fourth. Yes, 10 points in the fourth. But I have to say his last minute wasn't great. The Spurs went small. They took both centers out at one point and were trying to switch everything. I thought it was pretty neutral. They got some speed in there, but we had an offensive rebound with Brook Lopez at one point to make it a 1-point game. But Wemby hit a go-ahead 3 to make it a 2-point game. Then DJ gets an and 1, right? Kawhi gets his ankles taken by De'Aaron Fox, but De'Aaron Fox misses the shot. Then we get to this possession that I'm going to show on the screen because I think it was horrible, right? So it starts with Kawhi getting doubled. He swings it. Brook Lopez, it's Kawhi against Wemby. They load up. Wemby asks for help to get the ball out of his hand, so they double Kawhi. We don't do a good enough job swinging out of it and spacing out of it. And then we swing the ball back to Kawhi, who shoots a 3 with Victor Wembanyama on him with 6 on the shot clock. 6 on the shot clock. Way too much time. Way too much time to be taking first of all, you shouldn't be taking a contested 3 with Wemby on you in crunch time in the first place. And even if you're Kawhi, 28-footer, man. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. For the audio people, I'm sorry, but it's Kawhi. Look at that. Hold on. Jesus, what's going on here? Okay. That is deep, contested. You still got 6 on the shot clock, 5 by the time of release. You still can do better. We can still maybe get, if worst case scenario, Brook Lopez tries to post up De'Aaron Fox right inside the arc and takes that turnaround heave because he can get it off against De'Aaron Fox. Or better, Kawhi try to work those last 5 seconds and create space with his handle against Wemby. That's not a good shot. And then on top of that, he tries to follow it, but he half-ass follows it. There's 3 black shirts here. He completely ignores Wemby going down the floor. Ben Mathurin and Lopez are just ball washing as well. So all 3 of them are getting beat down the floor by Wemby. That is inexcusable. Inexcusable. And then you want to talk about inexcusable? Ty Lue brings Nico in for Chris Dunn to inbound the ball. We have seen Nico this season have 2 crucial turnovers in inbound situations. One against the Rockets where he stepped over the line. The other one against the Timberwolves in the game that I was at recently. Check out that vlog. Where we were down by 4 and he tried to throw a lob pass at Derrick Jones Jr. that was nowhere close. Funny enough, the set that Ty Lue and the coaching staff drew up was very similar to that, where it had Derrick Jones Jr. setting what looked like a back screen, but then he slipped it and just went straight to the rim, and both Spurs were playing the top side. The lob was wide open for DJ, but Nico felt hesitant because I think he saw Wemby just in the vicinity. Now, do I think Nico could have made that pass? Yes. If Nico watches it back, he probably thinks he should have as well. That's the Wemby effect. No excuses. He should have thrown it. Didn't throw it. Throws it to Lopez. And then I have zero clue. First of all, Nico needs to get back in bounds, bro. Wake the fuck up. But secondly, what is Brook Lopez doing just throwing the ball right back at him when he's still out of bounds? There was no pressure on Brook Lopez. There was plenty of time on the clock. What is he doing? Come on, Brook. And so one lesson we have to learn here is let's forget about Nico at the end of games, last play situations. I know he's a vet and he's reliable. This season, he's proving what's his name right. Dude from Blue Bucks. Not Jeezy, it's the other one. What's his name? I always forget the other one's name. Not Jeezy Obama. Uh, the other bro. He's proving him right. He's proving him right, and that's disappointing. Let's take a look at the play.
Clippers are out. Batum will inbound. Here's Lopez.
So,
to the two.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
The Clippers are out.
So, yeah, he's trying to set a back screen, and then he slips it. Wemby's ready to go over the top and start to double Kawhi. Oh, my God, that's where you got to throw it. And it's DJ. Like, he's the lob threat, and you can see the bench. Look, Darius Garland starts jumping. Jordan Miller and Cam Christie. They're like screaming at Nico. He's not even looking at it. Like, why is he hot potatoing it like that? Like, that I think is even more brain dead than Nico not getting in bounds. I don't understand what's going on there. But it's like, look, I can't really be mad at Brook Lopez. He had a really good game. But, and it's the same thing as Kawhi, quite frankly. Like, it's hard for me to get mad at Kawhi, but he also made some questionable decisions at the end of the game or made some questionable plays. So it's a collective loss. You can do the blame pie percentage. I don't care. We're Clipper fans. I'm a Clipper fan. I don't care. We blew the game collectively. Kawhi Leonard did not take a good shot when we were down 25. I'm sorry. When we were tied. That wasn't a good shot at all. I'm sorry. We were up by one. It was not a good shot. He had plenty of time on the clock. And then this was horrible. Julian Champagnie misses the first free throw. We have a chance to get the rebound on the second free throw. You got Wemby in there. Both guys sandwich Wemby. Kawhi, this is not enough contact with Stephon Castle. This is lazy. He's not even, look at the space. I can fit my cursor in between Kawhi and Stephon Castle. At least these fools are trying to get a body on Wemby. So the ball goes out to Wemby. He's just so tall, he tipped it. I mean, look, Lopez can't get off the ground. We know this. But look at Kawhi and look at Stephon Castle. The tape does not lie. Stephon Castle got to this ball before Kawhi. Where's the hunger? Come on, dude. You can't expect it just because it goes to that side. They're going to get it. You need two bodies on Wemby. I mean, no one was even close to the shooter. What about the shooter? Where's Derrick Jones Jr.? Chris Dunn. Oh, my God. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous from both of them, but I blame Kawhi mostly for that possession. And then we get a chance again. This is despicable. If you want to talk about this shit is despicable. This is terrible to blow the game like this. He only had 4 points. Look at this shit. I mean, what is that from Chris Dunn, dude? You got to sprint to get in there. And I rarely criticize Chris Dunn's effort. And it's weird that in like NBA, you can't put a guy here because that guy would take the shooter. But this is embarrassing. What is this? Where's your 6 seconds? Look at the way he's casually going in there. I mean, come on, KD. You're too good for that, bro. You are way too good for that. And that's the ball game. 116 to 112 in favor of the Spurs. They outscored us 35-20 in the fourth, and 10 of those 20 points came from Kawhi. So again, the moral of the story is, if you want to talk about anything, we just didn't have Garland. We needed him, to be honest, even just for one quarter. We played a 9-man rotation. We shot 49% from the field. They shot 48% from the field, but they shot 9 more times than we did because they out-rebounded us 52-41, including 15-7 on the offensive glass. We're getting younger, but we're not Spurs young. No rebounds, no rings. That's definitely part of why we lost. We shot 36% from deep. They shot 41% from deep. So they ended up shooting better than us from 3 in the end. And then free throws. That's a department that we're usually going to beat teams in. We shot 6 more free throws than them. We shot 80% from the free throw line. They shot 50, 7 for 14. So that was ass. They turned the ball over a total of 13 times. We actually took pretty good care of the ball, only turned the ball over 10. So moral of the story, without a second star, it was going to be hard to beat this team on the road. They haven't lost even 20 games this season. They're 46-17. We were awful in the last minute of the game. No players exempt. Chris Dunn, you saw mistakes. Kawhi Leonard, you saw mistakes. Brooke Lopez, you saw mistakes. Nico Batum, nobody is exempt. I guess Derek Jones. I didn't see anything there. He should have gotten the ball. And then what else can you say? Ben Mathurin could have played better. He didn't play well enough. And he's our second best shot creator right now. So it is what it is. Hey, the thing that's frustrating is that we're so close to being at 500 and we just keep losing when we're right there. But hey, we got the Teddy Bears tomorrow. Let's bounce back and let's see what this team is made of. That's all I can say about it. There's nothing to lose your mind about. It's not if you were told me before the game, oh, we're going to lose by 4 points to Darius without DG and JC against the Spurs, I would say that's a pretty good result. But it's just the fashion in which we lost, at last minute. I mean, I think that allowing an offensive rebound on a free throw is one of the biggest sins in basketball. And if you do it twice in the last minute, you for sure deserve to lose. So no excuses. Looking at our rotation, actually, let's look at theirs first. They played 10 guys, but I don't really count Lindy Waters playing 4 minutes. So let's talk about the 9 guys that did really play. 21 minutes for Carter Bryant, and it was a fucking effective 21 minutes. 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block, no turnovers on a perfect 2 for 2 from the field, made his only 3, and was a team high plus 11. Actually, was a game high plus 11. So he had a hell of an impact. And then Keldon Johnson, 10 points, 6 boards, no turnovers on 4 for 9 shooting and 2 for 3 from downtown in 22 minutes. I thought he was really solid. And then Dylan Harper, the son of former Clipper Ron Harper. I really enjoy his game. It's just his shooting definitely needs some improvement. He's only shooting 27% from 3, but his downhill ability and his handle and his footwork around the rim is pretty impressive for a rookie. And, he's got a good future. I like the way he guards. He's got good size. Shout out to my member right here, Sweet Brown, Danny. Dylan Harper ended with 8 points, 2 boards, 4 dimes, 1 steal, 1 block, and a turnover on 3 for 5 shooting. Made his only 3, though, ironically, and was 1 for 3 from the free throw line. So there you go. Like the free throws, when you're a bad free throw shooter as a guard, that's very telling to me that your shooting is not great. And then the man who played the most bench minutes for the Spurs actually played more minutes than Wemby, who's been on a very weird minutes thing all season long. He was going crazy to start the season before Fox came back. And then Fox came back and Wemby got hurt, and Wemby came off the bench for a while. But he still somehow puts up these insane numbers in such little time. I think by the end of this postseason, I know people are throwing him in top 5 conversations already, but for me, if I'm not going to put you in top 5 until I see you play in the playoffs, because that's real basketball. The regular season has never been such bullshit than today's NBA. Every single night there are major injuries and players sitting out or getting rested. Every single game, damn near. It's bullshit. It's a horrible product in terms of the season. It's really shit. It's just if you like your team enough, it's interesting. But which I love my team. But if you're this was an exciting game for the neutral fan, but what do you learn about what could happen in a playoff series without Garland? It's bullshit. You know what I mean? We need Garland to even have a real assessment of our team. You don't learn anything. That's just how I feel about it. Because if we're not, it's pointless. You can analyze it all you want. We're not gonna have one shot creator in the playoffs like that, at an elite level. But anyway, Little Red Cornet. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 turnover. He had 5 offensive rebounds on 5 for 9 shooting. He was really good. He's a really solid backup, and I think the Celtics have missed him, but the Celtics, this full Tatum came back tonight. What? How did he come back so early? And he looked good in this, by the end of the game. The Celtics, again, I'm not supposed to talk about other teams. That's for members only lives, but they're my easy favorite to make it out of the East now. No question. With what they've built without Tatum, now you're bringing Tatum back? It's not like it's a new addition. It's Tatum. This is his team. Oh, my God. Insane. I never thought he would come back. It's you thought, oh, my God, we lose last year, 2025, and then, we're losing another year of contention. No, we're not if you're the Celtics fan. If you're a Celtics fan. But, yeah, I think Cornette, Kata's been – and this fool Garza, those fools have balled this year, but Cornette's He's good, and he's been a big part of the Spurs' success, especially in those games with Wemby out and with all the like minutes restrictions he's been on. And then you talk about the starters. Wemby played the least, and he was the leading scorer. 27 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 4 blocks. He leads the league in blocks. He was 11 for 21 from the field, 4 for 9 from three. The jumper was really falling. He was 1 for 2 from the foul line. So I will say this, he's still too jump shot dependent for me. But again, we'll see where I rank him at the end of the season because he hasn't played a play-in game, let alone even a playoff game. So I'm not going to just go off regular season. Like, who are you asking me to rank him over? You expect me to rank Wemby over Jokic? Fuck no. You expect me to rank him over Giannis when he's healthy? Hell no. You expect me to rank him over Luka and Ant with what they've shown? No, I'm not going to go there yet. He's got to prove it. Kawhi in a playoff setting? Debatable, but I'm probably taking Kawhi. I just love his offensive package, his experience. Would I take Wemby or Kawhi on my team? Of course, Wemby because of the future. But if you're talking just this playoffs, I would probably take Kawhi. Seriously, dead serious. Not even disrespectful. I just value experience a lot. Like if Tatum starts playing, if Tatum starts playing at Tatum level, am I taking Wemby over Tatum too? I don't know. I'm not ready to say that, even though his two-way impact is nuts. But I'm not ready to say that because it's still a little jumper heavy for me. But he's lucky he has really good guard play now with Fox and Castle and Harper. But anyway, I thought he was amazing tonight, Wemby. You know, just finding a way to make an impact on both ends. And another thing I want to say about him is, you know, people were like talking about him, like getting emotional after the game. He seemed so winded or whatever. Here's what I'll say about Wemby. No matter what, it's like, no matter what I say about Wemby, the player, Wemby, the competitor, the person. So it was the second out of a back-to-back for him. But that dude is so likable to me. I love his demeanor. I love the head he has on his shoulders. He's like a young leader. He speaks really well. He has a lot of passion for fans. He's kind of bringing in like that European, like the soccer, like connection that fans have to their team, like trying to bring that with like the Jackals and everything he's done. And just the way he represents San Antonio and has kind of taken that like franchise player mantle. It's just very admirable. The way he played in the All-Star game, I talked about it in that vlog in the All-Star game. I was like, he's setting a tone that it's such a good look for the future generation to play hard in the All-Star game again. Like he respects this. He respects his privilege. And I fuck with him because of that. I just hate how likable these people. I just don't like this, guys. I don't like this. And when he's playing well, he's ridiculous. Like when he's on, I mean, like we've never seen anything like it, but he's like a modernized Ralph Sampson. And I say modernized because, you know, people weren't shooting, like Ralph Sampson was not encouraged to shoot step back threes. Like you'd get taken out of a game instantly for doing something like that. But in terms of like the lankiness and like the skill at his size and the ability to handle the ball, the Ralph Sampson is the only player that I would compare to Wemby. And he's like thin. But see, nowadays that's looked at as like so great, like to be lanky. Like, I mean, yeah, people criticize Wemby for being skinny, but like it's not like no one's calling Wemby soft. Like people were calling Ralph Sampson soft. Like it's just different. It's just a different time. But Wemby played amazing. By the way, I hope Spurs fans find a way to watch this video because I feel like I've been very respectful. And I just don't know, like, are Spurs fans on the internet like finding my videos? Like, they should be rampant on the internet this year with the way they've been playing. French people, I don't know. Don't even get me started talking about Tony Parker either because he gave me nightmares. Okay, Julian Champagny had a hell of a third quarter. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers on 6 for 10 shooting, 5 for 8 from 3, and 3 for 5 from the free throw line in 29 minutes. He's been a really solid role player for them this year. He started 49 of their 63 games, and he's shooting 39% from 3. You know, I don't know how good of a defender he is because I don't watch him with that kind of depth, but the guy is pretty cash, and every team like with guard play like that needs shooters. And they kind of lack it with some guys. Devin Vassell, a guy that's given us fits in the past, it was not his best shooting game tonight. 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Did not turn the ball over, though. Was 4 for 13 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the free throw line in 35 minutes. So he actually played the most of any Spur. And then you have their big three, so to speak. Stephon Castle, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, nearly got a triple-double, but didn't get double digits in any category. So a nice triple single, 4 turnovers on 2 for 8 shooting, 1 for 3 from downtown, and 1 for 2 from the free throw line in 34 minutes. Here's what I say about what's his name? Castle, who's one of my favorite young players in the league. Like one of my only players that like I'm actually like a fan of that's younger than me. He like even when he doesn't shoot well, like he'll find a way to impact the game because he plays so hard defensively and he'll constantly look to get in the paint and create shots for you, you know? And I think that's like Castle and Harper, like shooting the ball like that can be improved. Like some guys can never become great shooters, but they can become better shooters easily. I think that's, to me, that's the easiest thing to work on. It's just like get bunch of shots up. Of course, shooting in a game and shooting in practice and workouts are different, but it's repetition, man. It's just repetition. I think it's hard to like improve your handle the way Kawhi did at that age. I think your jumper can be improved, but Castle is one of my favorites. It wasn't the best game for him, but he still impacted the game. Fox, also one of my favorites since he fucked up my UCLA Bruins in the Sweet 16 in 2017 when he absolutely sunned Lonzo and crew and TJ Leaf and Thomas Welsh. It's cool to see him in a new location. I did love Fox in Sacramento, but that ship kind of sunk. 19 points, 2 rebounds, 9 dimes, 1 steal, 2 turnovers. 17 of his 19 points came in the second half. 9 for 18 from the field, 1 for 8 from 3. I've never thought Fox was the best three-point shooter. In his famous 2023 season, he only shot 32 or 2023 season, he only shot 32% from 3, but then he shot 37% the following year, but increased his volume so much that his efficiency overall dropped, but his three-point efficiency went up. And he averaged a career high of 27 points a game that year. That was the year that they lost in the play-in to the Pelicans. They just didn't do much to improve that roster. And then last season, he shot really badly from 3. And then this season, he's shooting 34% from 3. So he's not a great three-point shooter either. He's more of a mid-range god. And you saw that in this game. And then I already talked about Wemby, so there you have it. Those are all their players. For us, we played a 9-man rotation. Ijax played just 14 minutes. He had 5 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 turnover on 2 for 2 shooting and 1 for 2 from the free throw line. I thought it was just a tale of two halves for Ijax. I thought he was really good in the first and struggled defensively in the pick and roll in the second. Nico, 17 minutes. I thought he was great in the first half, and then obviously had that terrible blunder at the end. 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, no turnovers on 2 for 3 shooting, and of course, all his shots were threes. I guess that turnover was credited to Brook Lopez. He threw the ball out of bounds. Ben Mathurin, 8 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, 1 block. Besides the time that Harper back-cut him in the first quarter, his defense was pretty good. He had no turnovers, which is great, but he was 3 for 12 from the field, and again, 0 for 3 from 3. I mean, this guy has not been able to hit a 3 to save his life so far as a Clipper. And 2 for 4 from the free throw line. He missed both free throws on a trip to the line, short in and out. If he had made even one more of those, it could have made a difference, but he only played 22 minutes because he wasn't good. And again, it just comes down to he's got to get downhill more. Stop settling, stop dilly-dallying so much. And I will say this, one time he tried to get by Luke Cornett, and Cornett like blocked him and moved his feet really well. So good for him. But not the best Ben Mathurin game. And then Jordan Miller got into double figures, which is nice. He actually had a pretty good game. 11 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists, which led our team. 1 steal, no turnovers on 4 for 6 shooting, 1 for 2 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. So 66, 50, 100 splits for J Mill. He's been in a great run of form. That's 5 out of the last 6 games. 6 out of the last 7 games in double figures. So as far as the bench, we got 30 points off of ours. They got 33. points off of theirs. So basically the difference in the game. And then our starters, they all played 25 or more minutes. Kobe Sanders, you could make an argument that Kobe Sanders should have played more. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, and a lot of great defensive possessions one-on-one. He shot 4 for 7 from the field and 2 for 3 from downtown. He played pretty well. Like, he wasn't a defensive liability in any way, shape, or form. So, like, I don't know. Maybe you should consider playing him more. Chris Dunn. I mean, I think it was a solid Chris Dunn game. I just thought that effort at the end on the free throw was bad. 4 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 turnovers on 2 for 5 shooting, 0 for 1 from 3 in 31 minutes. He was a team worst, minus 12, but like single game plus minus doesn't mean shit. DJ, 12 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and no turnovers, but he did not shoot well. 4 for 12 from the field, several shots blocked by Wemby, 2 for 7 from 3. So not the best shooting game from DJ, but am I going to sit here and say he had a bad game? Nah, he was okay. He was decent. Good enough for us to win, in my opinion. Brook Lopez was spectacular. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals. He does a great job of having active hands. 2 turnovers, including a costly one at the end, on 11 for 19 shooting and shot 50% from 3, 4 for 8. So maybe Brook Lopez is finally going to turn the corner with his 3-point shooting. In the month of March, he's shooting 9 for 21. So that's really good. Hopefully he can continue shooting like that 40% clip. And then, so yeah, I think it was a good game for Brook Lopez, albeit some mistakes at the end. And then Kawhi, same thing. 30 points, 9 rebounds, 30 points led the game, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 turnovers on 10 for 20 shooting. Again, Kawhi this month has been broke from 3. 1 for 6 from downtown, 9 for 10 from the free throw line. He's shooting 31% from 3 in March, and he shot 33% from 3 in February. So I don't know what's going on with his 3 ball. I think a lot of them are like, they're not open anymore. People are pressing up on him and making sure that they'd rather him try to get by them, which is what I would do as well. And maybe that's part of the reason why he's got 3 blow-bys the last 2 games, because people are pressing up. They don't want him to shoot. But anyway, that's all I got for this game. Before I end the live, I want to talk a little bit about Giannik's injury. So obviously I captured him walking off the floor, being helped off the floor in my vlog. Go check that out, by the way. It's around 800 something views. The last vlog was Darius Garland's home debut, the return of Zoo. I posted his video tribute in the vlog and separately, so go check that out. But to hear that he's out for the season and has to get surgery is such a blow, because, you know, not only is he very important, backing up Zoo, and I think backing up Lopez, and it's a big downgrade from him to Ijax. And I'm excited for Ijax, but like, you know, there's a reason he wasn't really getting played. Giannik has so much potential, and you just, beyond the fact that it sucks for this season, you just hate to see that setback for him personally. You know, we become such fans of Giannik in such a short time this year. I don't think any of us, when we got Brook Lopez, ever imagined that we would really get to see Giannik play this year like that and really get to see him grow like that. But, you know, with the Zubats trade, his opportunity has come. He has shown us that he can protect the rim. He has shown us that he can jump out the gym. He has shown us that he's a vertical threat. He's shown us that he's got some guard skills as well, being able to shoot the ball and handle the ball pretty decently. He's got so much potential, and we were seeing him grow every game, and to see him, and, you know, I get skeptical when it comes to bigs with foot injuries. So like, we've seen a lot of bigs have their careers ruined with early foot injuries. Now we have modern surgeries, so I think he'll be okay. But it's just a real bummer. And then the connection that the fans built with him at the Rising Stars game. You know, if you go check that out. I was in the wall. We were chanting his name all that game, and he felt it. He was acknowledging the crowd, the Giannik boom. He even posted on his Instagram, Giannik boom. So get well soon, bro. It's going to suck. I was so looking forward to Giannik getting potential playoff experience, but because it's going to have to be Ijax if we make the playoffs. But That's it for me in this one, guys. Thank you so much for joining on this late night. And for all those watching in the morning, I really appreciate you watching. Make sure you check out the recent vlogs. It's not just my opinion, it's the fans' opinion. And of course, if you want to be a member for exclusive perks, do so as well. Now it's time to record Locked On Clippers and take a shower. I probably won't go to sleep till like 5:30 a.m. I got a busy day tomorrow, so I can't do that shit in the morning. So peace out, everybody. Go Clips. Back tomorrow night. Will I be able to go live? I doubt it. Probably Sunday afternoon. Peace. Appreciate you, Danny.